Hello everyone and welcome to a special episode of Under the Spell of Books. So today we're not going to do a review of a specific book or something that I read. I'm going to get on the trend and do my book ranking tier list. So it's every book I've read so far this year. We're in November, so I think we're pretty covered, and the books I'll read at the end of this month and next month. I'm going to put on my on next year's tier rank list. So let's get started. First, I'm going to do a quick summary of the book I'm picking, and then I'll explain to you why I'm assigning it into that specific section. So let's start with the Mistborn series. They're all here, and they're the more recent books I've read, so they're fresh in my mind. So first we have The Final Empire. So it's the story of a young street thief called Vin, who discovers she has magical powers in a world ruled by the immortal Lord Ruler. Teaming up with a charismatic rebel leader, Kelsier, she joins a daring heist to overthrow the oppressive empire. Uh, this was quite a good book. Was it unforgettable? Maybe not, but since, as you can see, most of the books I've read were romanticy or young adult, it was excellent. Yeah. Then we have The Well of Ascension, the same trilogy, so this happens after they overthrow the Lord Ruler. So yeah, Vin and her allies face a new political challenge and external threats while uncovering the mystery of the legendary Well of Ascension. It was excellent also. And finally, The Hero of Ages. The world faced ruin as Vin and her companions race to fulfill ancient prophecies and unlock the secret to saving their world from total destruction. So it's also excellent. This trilogy, for me, the books were quite consistent. The last book was my favorite, and the first also. The second was a bit slow, but overall it was excellent, and I cannot rate a book higher than the other. Following up, let's go to some unforgettable books, and I think you can see where I'm leaning towards here. Let's go to the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. So the first one talks about Selena Sardotian, a deadly assassin who is released from prison to compete in a tournament to become the king's champion. However, dark forces threaten her new role. So Throne of Glass, the first novel in this series, it was good. If I didn't know it was going to get better, maybe I wouldn't have read the rest. Yeah, but it's because you don't understand much. And for those who know Throne of Glass, there are different ways to read the series. And I actually started with Throne of Glass, so I didn't have any context to it. I hadn't read The Assassin's Blade yet. So it was really my first entry into the world, and it was a bit complicated because I felt like I was missing some information, and that made it tougher to understand. Then Crown of Midnight was also good. It was better than before because now Selena Sardotian was the king's champion, and she struggles to reconcile her duties with her growing awareness of a rebellion brewing in the kingdom. The Crown of Midnight was good. It is kind of the book that told me, okay, if it's getting better, then it's going to keep getting better. For now, I'm going to keep it as good. By the end of the video, I might change my mind and put it on very good. But yeah, it was better than Throne of Glass. But was it excellent? Nah. Was it very good? It depends on the books I put on very good. So then we have the third one, which was Heir of Fire. So in this book, Selena journeys to a distant land to unlock her magical potential and face her destiny as Aelin, a powerful heir to a lost throne. So in this book, she discovers her romantic interests for life because if you know about it, you have, oh, here we have Dorian, here we have Kael, and here we have the one and only Rowan. And it's also, I think, about this book or in this one that we discover Manon, which is kind of my favorite, one of my favorite characters in Throne of Glass series. And so, yeah, great, great, great. So very good. Was it excellent? I don't know yet, but I'll put it at very good right now, because the other books are way up higher, way up higher than that. So then we're going to follow with the Assassin's Blade. Yeah, we're going to go back and do a bit of the novels, the 0.5 actually, which chronologically is supposed to go before Throne of Glass, but here let's just keep it simple and do it after Heir of Fire. So, which is sort of the way I read it when I read it for the second time. And it's also the way to read it if you want a massive emotional impact. So here we're going to put the Assassin's Blade 2. It was good in the way that it made me understand better the series and have more emotional connection. But if it was the book itself, yeah, it could have been better. In the way that I had to try to read it multiple times before I got hooked. And the only way that happens is because I had already read the whole series and that was a reread, and I wanted to have a different impact than the first time I read it without the Assassin's Blade. And this time I actually pushed through and read it, but I had to have an audiobook in order to make it, sort of. So I could do something else at the same time because I couldn't just read it. Because it wasn't that engaging. That was the way it was. So that's why I'm putting it on. Could have been better, because if it was better, I probably wouldn't have like DNF'd it and came back to it after a reread. So then we go to Queen of Shadow. This is where I thought to myself, oh my god, this series legend. So in this vault, Aelin returns to her kingdom, seeking revenge against her enemies and preparing for a final confrontation with the king. This book is excellent. I don't even think I need to justify myself. It's excellent. And then we keep going on that excellent trend, and we get to Empire of Storm, which is when Aelin and her allies face mounting challenges as they unite to fight an ancient evil threatening to consume the world. Empire of Storms isn't just excellent, no, it's unforgettable. So I will never forget this book. It's in my mind every time. I remember everything that happens in there. Come on. Yeah, I changed my mind. Maybe Heir of Fire is up there with Queen of Shadows in excellent. Sorry, I'm changing my mind. Let's keep going then. I thought that the series was going to go up, 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 and once it's reached unforgettable, it will be like super very unforgettable. But it actually went down. It's not that I don't like Kale and Nesrin and all the new characters that were introduced. It's just that eh, it wasn't as engaging as it could have been. When you do the tandem read, which I actually tried to do in the second time I read it, my reread, it's good. But when you read it after Empire of Storm, you just cannot stop to think about Aileen. And so everything that Cal is talking to you about, even Nesrin, you're like, oh my god, is this book going to be all about them? And you just keep reading because you hope that there are going to be some clues about what is happening to Aileen right now. But no, you have to wait till the last page for the little snippet to tell you, okay, wait for Kingdom of Ash. So I'm sorry, Tower of Dawn. You could have been better. And finally, yeah, that build up was to tell you that, okay, don't need any further explanation. Kingdom of Ash, unforgettable. Is the epic finale. Aileen and her allies unite their forces for a climatic battle to save the world from darkness. Dun dun dun. Awesome. And if you've read Alcazar, you have some little clues in there, some Easter eggs, so it's really awesome. Then we go to another series, another romantic series that I enjoy very much, and that hooked me. And it's the Bridge Kingdom series by Danielle L. Jensen. So we're going to start with the beginning, which is the Bridge Kingdom. And this book was unforgettable for me. I love it. There's no magic in it, but it's in a fantasy world, being that it's in a world that's different with different laws. And I think the love story is just well constructed, but at the same time you have political intrigue. You have this choice for Lara. Does she choose love or country? And I don't know. I think it was just very well written and it resonated. It was a story that you don't see a lot because there are a lot. That's the problem in romantasy. Sometimes it just kind of repeats itself, and when you read from one book to the next, you're sort of like, okay, so this is like a fanfic of the other book. You see, but when I read The Bridge Kingdom, it was so unique, but at the same time, it was reusing some tropes and some stories that you kind of know without being the same at all. So yeah, it's my messed up explanation to say you Bridge Kingdom unforgettable. And then the Traitor Queen just follows up right in there. Unforgettable. This duology, the first one is the ones that hooks you into the series. And then you want to read the following ones just to get some snippet of information about Lara and Aaron. Because in the Traitor Queen book, like the second tome, we follow Lara after the fallout of her betrayal. We see her redeem herself and protect the man she loves, but she once sought to destroy. And we're left in like the conclusion of the book, and you want to know what happens after. So what happened after? You say, okay, I'm going to read the next duology, because the Bridge Kingdom is actually by pairs. So you have the first love story, which is Lara and Aaron, and then you have the second love story, which is between Lara's brother and an empress, like from another kingdom, and then you have the third duology, which is not finished yet, which is between Aaron's sister and another prince from another kingdom. So if I tell you too much, it's going to spoil you, even though I'm already a little bit spoiling, so I'm sorry. So then you read the Air, which is, you think is going to give you some insight, but it's sort of happening at the same time as the Traitor Queen. So I'm going to put it on very good. It was an enjoyable read, but it wasn't excellent and it wasn't unforgettable. And this duology keeps in the same path with the Endless War, um, which is kind of the conclusion of this duology with a conflict that escalates, a clash, an epic battle, a power of survival. You see a little bit more of Lara and Aaron, that's what's great. You have a little bit of nice news, and that's why it's very good also. We also have the novella, The Calm Before the Storm, that can be read before the Endless War or after, and it is focused on Lara and Aaron. It was amazing because I just wanted to know about them both. But yeah, I cannot put it in the other levels because come on, it's a novella and you understand. It's just for my like emotional damage that's why it's very good. And finally we have the Twisted Throne, which is about, like as I said, Aaron's sister, and it revolves between new alliances and betrayals that shape the kingdom's future, as Lara and Aaron face their toughest challenge yet, maybe. So we'll put it on good. I just think I don't like Hannah, like Aaron's sisters. I'm not a fan of the character, that's why I'm biased. Let's continue then with another series, and this series is kind of similar, we can say, to Throne of Glass. It's not the same, it's similar. So I'm not going to say it uses the same tropes, if you want. So An Era Comes to Rise by Chloe Bernaranda. Apologies if I said it wrong. Is about Faith, a commoner who discovers her hidden magical abilities and becomes embroiled in a battle against an oppressive king and brewing war between realms. So the book is good. I liked it. So I'm going to put it on very good. If I have to compare it to Throne of Glass, the beginning is way better because it hooks you instantly. It's still, yeah, that's why it's not good as Throne of Glass. You can see that the author really thought about it, and the story is quite nice. You like to read it. It's a smooth ride if you want. I wouldn't put it at excellent, but yeah, it's very good. And the whole series follows that trend, except one. So the second one we have A Queen Comes to Power, which is Faith who steps into a leadership role, grappling with newfound responsibilities and threats as alliances form and enemies close in. This goes to very good also. Then we have A Throne from the Ashes, where loyalties are tested as Faith and her allies fight to reclaim their lands from the dark forces threatening to engulf them. Also very good. But A Clash of Three Chords, it's the same theme as Tower of Dawn. I'm sorry. It's about side characters and the love between the side characters, and I'm sorry, but it could have been better. So sorry. But the elements in this book are sort of useful to the other books, but yeah, you could remove it completely and you wouldn't see any difference. Or maybe not remove it, but like summarize it into a novella of 100 pages. Yeah. And finally we have a sort of From the Embers, which in this gripping installment, the stake reach their peak as Faith leads her people in an epic battle for survival and freedom. I was tempted to put that on excellent, but I'm still gonna put it on very good. I'm waiting for the final book, and depending on the final book, maybe I'll put it on excellent. I don't know. Then we have Legendborn Cycle from Tracy Dion. I must say, these books resonated with me. I identified in the main character, and her journey, her spiritual journey, is just amazing. And you grow up with her. I think it was very well written, and it's a book that we miss it nowadays. Just a simple story about a girl who discovers a secret society at her university, uncovers magical powers, the truth about her mother's death, and a war against dark forces. Classic. But it's not classic at all. I really recommend you to read it. For me, it was unforgettable. I still have to buy the collector books because I need to put that on my library. Must. And the second book in the series is Bloodmarked, where Bree, the chosen heir of a powerful legacy, so to follow up, she must navigate betrayal, new powers, and rising tensions in her fight against ancient enemies. I like the first book better, but I loved the second book also. Both of them are unforgettable. I don't even know why I'm distinguishing the both of them. I just wanted to say, okay, it's not on the same level, but like unforgettable. Yeah, let's keep skipping this cringe moment. And follow up on the next series, which is Crowns of Nyaxia series by Karina Broadbent. I'm really sorry if I said that incorrectly. So the first book is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. So it's about Oraya, a human raised among vampires who competes in a deadly tournament to gain freedom, facing betrayal, alliances, and her own desires. Well, this book is complicated because it's excellent. At the same time, it's unforgettable level. It just wasn't unforgettable to me. So I want to put it on unforgettable, but I would be lying if I think the book is unforgettable. If I don't forget about the book. I think I need to reread it to put it up there on unforgettable, but it's excellent and I would gladly reread it. And then we have the second one, who really the quality doesn't decline, which is sometimes rare to find it on series. So it's The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, and it happens in the aftermath of the tournament, which leads Oraya into a power struggle, forcing her to choose between vengeance and love. Same thing, unforgettable level, but it just wasn't unforgettable to me. And finally, we have a novella in this world which has nothing to do with the main characters of the duology I just talked about, and it's Six Scorched Roses. I actually read this book way after I read the first two, and well, it's like a small book exploring a forbidden romance amid the backdrop of a deadly plague and dangerous secrets, about a vampire and a human, and I cried. Okay, this book was unforgettable. This was poetry. Okay, poetry. Amazing. Sometimes you think that short books can't have a big impact on you, that maybe short books can develop the romance and the plot and the story, but I think the author just thought, okay, I want to tell a love story which is in a fantasy world, which has fantastic stakes. Do I focus on the plot and make it complex, or do I focus on the love story? And I think it was great because it focused on the love story without dismissing the plot, but the plot only serves to heighten the love story. Anyway, read it. It's a small book. You won't lose a lot of time. You can read it in a day. Amazing. Which is what I did, actually. By the way, you didn't ask for it, but yeah, I read it in a day. Following that is the Play the Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. The series is completed. I just haven't read the last book yet. That's why it's not here. So this series is about Oren, a woman with gold skin, who is trapped in a gilded cage by King Midas. She begins to question her captivity as danger looms. So this is the first book. Um, I I actually read through this series quite fast. I enjoyed it, but the first book could have been better. So I kept going because I thought it was going to get better, and it did, but it did get better to good. So in the second installment, we have Oren, who is taken from King Midas and discovers the harsh realities of the outside world and her hidden strengths. Good. We have Gleam, where Oren unravels dark secrets about her captor and her past while forging new alliances and reclaiming her power. Good. We have Gold, which is the Glow, sorry, which is the fourth book, where as her ability grow, Oren faces threats from all sides while confronting her own identity and forces at play. Good also. And we have Gold, the fifth book, which is the epic conclusion that sees Oren taking a stand against her enemies and embracing her true destiny. Yeah, but it's not the final book. We have Goldfinch to kind of close it. But yeah, I haven't read it yet. I think it's because the series is good level for me. I think if I go on a reading slump, then I'm going to read Goldfinch just as a stepping stone, for higher purposes. Then we have Lightlark series by Alex Astor. It was actually an impulsive buy. It wasn't on my TBR. I just saw it. The book was pretty. The synopsis was kind of nice, and I just read it. And the first book was actually very good. It's about Isla, who must compete in a deadly game held over 100 years to break a curse and save her people. She's navigating betrayal, romance, and secrets. And then we have Nightbane, which is the second book in the Lightlark series, whom is that phenomenon. It doesn't get better. I won't say it gets worse, it doesn't get better. But it goes down a notch. And in the sequel, Isla discovers the true cost of the Lightlark curses and faces mounting challenges as alliances shift. And I'm going to put it on, yeah, good. It's just I thought that the story just became something maybe the story shouldn't have gone that way. Yeah, I don't know if you understand what I mean. Maybe if you read it, or if you already read it, you would get it. It's just sometimes you expect something and you can get something else which just enhances your experience, or you can get something different which just sort of kills it. So at least it's good and not could have been better. Anyway, moving on, we have the Hurricane Wars, which is a new series by Tia Guanzon. Sorry about that. It's about fractured empire, wherein there we have Thalassine and Alaric, who are warriors from opposing sides, who find themselves drawn to each other as they navigate war, secrets, and forbidden power. It's supposed to be an enemies to lover, and it sort of was. I was just missing the lovers part, so I'll put it on good. It could have been better, yes, but it's still good. Moving on, we have The War of Lost Hearts by Karina Broadbent. It's a series of 3 books who are completed, so you can read them all. But as you can see, I only have 1 book from this series here. Is because I didn't continue after the first book. So it talks about Tisana, who is a former slave that allies with a reluctant mentor to fight against a powerful empire while uncovering secrets about her past and magic. Could have been better. I have seen multiple people say, "Oh, this is an amazing book. This is an amazing series. It's one of my favorites," and I respect it. From the bottom of my heart, I respect it. But as I said, this is my own opinion with my own tastes, and I just didn't like it. I wasn't hooked on it. I didn't like the magic system. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. So I put it in could have been better, but if I had a category about wasn't for me, I would just put it wasn't for me. Let's keep going. We're almost finished. This is sort of the last push. Then should I unveil the ACOTAR? No. Let's keep on. Before that, we have the Legend of Tezbar series. Once again, this is a finished series. I haven't finished the books yet, but I plan to. It's not like the War of the Lost Hearts, but I haven't finished. It's like I plan to. So it's about the first book, Blood and Steel, is about a band of mercenaries who must unite to protect their realm from an ancient rising evil in this tale of greed, betrayal, and heroism. The book was good. It was good. So it's good. Why? Just it's the first book in a series. Sometimes they're good. Maybe it gets better with time. So I continued. So we have then Vows and Ruin, who is actually better than Blood and Steel, and talks about the mercenaries that then face fractured alliances and devastating sacrifices as their enemy grows stronger. And it's also good. It's good. It's good enough that I want to keep reading the series. It's not very good or excellent at the point that just after I finish the book, I want to read the next one. That's why I haven't read the book 3 and 4 yet. But if I had to grade it, not with a true rank list, I would put a solid 4 out of 5. Just didn't hook me personally, but I want to see how the story ends, and I think the characters are well constructed. So please don't think that the fact that I put the book on good doesn't mean it's very good or excellent. And then we arrive on my this epic discovery this year. It's just I'm so waiting for the last book. Please, I need this book, which is Spark of the Everflame. Oh my god. By here it says Natalie Mail, but I think maybe it's Pen Cool. I'll maybe put a correction when I edit it. But yeah, it's the Kindred Curse series. Oh my god. I started this like by chance. I wasn't actually planning on starting this book. I saw it. I think I saw it like in YouTube or something, and I just say, okay, let's read it. While I read, like, I had like a lot of books in my TBR. I still do, but I started this book and I was hooked. I couldn't stop. All the books in this series, I'm telling you right away, are unforgettable. So first we have Spark of the Everflame, which is about a young warrior who discovers she's the key to a prophecy involving the Everflame, a magical foresight to the survival of her world. then we follow with the warrior's journey, who deepens as she battles inner demons and external enemies to fulfill her destiny, which is Glow of the Everflame. And then we have Heat of the Everflame, which is not the series finale. In the third book, we have a climatic showdown who determines the fate of the Everflame and the future of her people. And now we're waiting for the final book, which is the epic series finale and conclusion. Let's just say, like, sometimes you get bored when you read a lot of fantasy and romantasy because the magic systems are very similar. Let me just tell you, you have never seen a magic system as one in the Kindred Curse series. The romance is on par, amazing. It's not like the plot was prioritized over the romance or the romance was prioritized over the plot. The two of them go together. The plot is amazing. The magic system is amazing. Please, I need the fourth book now. Like the second it comes out. I'm reading it. The second. And I probably bet you I'm going to put it on Unforgettable. It's going to be an unforgettable series. I still haven't forgot about it. I need that book. Sorry. Okay. Whew. I still have other books to cover. Maybe I should have done these books right now. But let's keep going with the series, which is a long series by Tahir Mafi. Sorry if I messed up the name, which is the Shatter Me series. So the Shatter Me book is about Juliet, who is cursed with a little touch. So she kills people she touches. And so she's imprisoned by a dystopian regime. So her life changes when she becomes a pawn in their plans and discovers the depth of her own power. I was really sold this one. Like, oh, it's amazing. You have to read the Shatter Me series. You're going to love it. It's good. But I don't know if because people hyped it up, but it was good. It was not more than that. So all the book in the series, I'm going to tell you right away, are just good. And maybe it's because I had too much expectation on it. I don't know, but yeah, I hope it was only that. And I'm sorry if some of you love it, and I don't dismiss it. I respect it, but it just wasn't for me. In this series, we have collection of novels. So we have, for example, Unite Me, or Find Me, who are like collection of novels and the point of view or other characters. I think it's a nice concept, so it's good also, both of them. We have the second book on the series, which is Unravel Me, which is about Juliet, who then joins a rebel group. She struggles to control her power and faces an increasingly complex relationship with Warner, the leader of the establishment. Yeah, I understand why people, mainly women, love this book. I think it's because of Warner, simply. The magic system is interesting. I'm not going to deny that. The plot is quite good. Just haven't hooked me. Hasn't hooked me. Have then Unite Me, who is the height of the rebellion, and we see Juliet take charge and decide where her loyalties lie, both in war and in love. We keep going with Restore Me, who is in this book we have Juliet, who becomes leader of the rebellion, and she has a newfound power and authority. She faced betrayal, revelations about her past. We continue with Define Me, which in this fifth book, Juliet's enemy close in. She is forced to confront hidden truths about herself, Warner, and the conspiracy surrounding her. And then we have the final book, which is Imagine Me, which is an emotional finale with Juliet, who fights for control of her mind, her powers, and the fate of her world as her enemies rise and tear it all apart. And then we have a short novella after, which is Believe Me, who focus on the life after um, the story, the conclusion of the epic battles and everything, and on Juliet's and Warner's relationship. Yeah, it was a 6-book series with maybe more content than novellas, so it was quite long. I read it also. That proves it was good, but it wasn't that great. And on the same note, we have the Michael Vey series, which is not romantic or anything. It's really just a young adult. I read it when I was very young. It was sort of one of the books that make me want to keep reading, and made reading for me a passion. It's really young adult, teenager-like books, but they are very good. So I put it on my ranking also because I reread them all this year. This is a series that has 9 books. I'm not going to describe all of them for you. I'm just going to describe the series. So, the series talks about Michael Vey, who is a teenager who discovers who knows he has electrical powers. He thinks he's alone in the world, but then discovers there are 17 children like him. And he has to save them from the Big Bad Wolf, which is the Elgin Corporation who created them. So he goes on the journey, discovers the other kids, falls in love, becomes a leader, war, and yada yada yada. It's very good, but I've read better. But it's good in the sense of what you want at that moment. If you want a light-hearted series about teenager love and yeah, just want to relax, I really recommend you Michael Vey series. And if you wanna to hook a teenager that doesn't really like to read, it's very simple. Very simple to read, and it's quite enjoyable. So all the books are good. All the books in the series are good. None of them are more than the others. I wouldn't say so. Just keep it as it. And the way it's good is that also you have a time jump, and you see their lives after the main events, and you know it's not over, so you can continue to see them and continue to see them grow even after college and how their relationships evolve. So that's quite nice. Then we get back on business with the last series we have here. We're going to start with these Hollow Vows because the other ones, I have a lot to talk about the other ones. So this Hollow Vows is a duology. So the first book is about Bree, who is forced to infiltrate a fairy court to save her sister, and becomes entangled in a lost triangle while navigating dangerous alliances and secrets. This book was quite good. I have nothing else to say about that, just it was quite good. Then we have the Twisted Bonds, which is as Brace wrestles. Well, you understood. With her feelings for two fairy princes, she must make sacrifices to protect those she loves and prevent a war that threatens the realm. Is also quite good. So I'm not saying the book is. That's how I feel like I have to justify myself. It's good. It just hasn't stuck with me, but I enjoyed reading it. That's why I mean by good. I enjoyed reading it. It just wasn't a very good level. It was an excellent level, and it wasn't unforgettable. Simply that. If I didn't enjoy reading it, and if I thought, then I would put it on could be better. Okay. Let's keep going with, come on, you know what I'm talking about? Moonfall series. because there's only one book. The other ones, I have a lot of to talk about them. Even When the Moon Hatched, I really like that, but it's only one book in the series. I'm waiting for the other one, as I think everyone. So When the Moon Hatched is from is about sorry is about a young girl who discovers a magical artifact tied to an ancient prophecy, and she embarks on a journey to protect her world from celestial forces. It's a very, very tight resume, but I really advise you to read it. The way it's written is not commonly found in like romanticies and fantasy books. I will actually call it a fantasy book rather than a romantasy, even though the romance is a big part of it. Just because the magic system is amazing and the way it's constructed is also very good. The romance is at the center of it, but the political implications are also very great, and I think I focus on more on that than on the romance, even though I enjoyed it quite a bit. So, well, the Moon Hatch actually enters that on the excellent phase. Depending on how it ends and how it evolves, maybe it's going to become unforgettable. Maybe. Who knows? Do I go on the Mass series or do I do Fourth Ring and Iron Floor first and then I go on the Mass series? I think I'm going to go on the Mass series and I'm going to start with Crescent City. Crescent City is by Sarah J. Maas. Starts with the House of Earth and Blood. Sorry, I'm going to make it till the end of this video, I hope. Which is about Prince Quinlan, a half-fae who teams up with a fallen angel, Hunt Atalar, to solve a brutal murder and uncover dark secrets that threaten her city. This book was very good. It was very good. It was on par with Sarah J. Maas. I enjoy her books. It's just I had read Throne of Glass and ACOTAR before, so I'm going to talk later. It just didn't hit me as it could have hit me. So it's going to remain very good. Sorry. And so are all the other books in the series. So then we have House of Sky and Breath, who is about Prince and Hunt's bond that deepens as they face increasing political intrigue and the looming threat of war in the magical world of Crescent City. And then we have House of Flame and Shadow, who is about how Breeze takes on new enemies and unravels greater mysteries about her powers and the world around her. I was tempted to put this last book as excellent, just because of the references it has on ACOTAR and maybe Throne of Glass. But just I can't elevate the book because of how it reverts to books that were unforgettable to me. So that's why it's very good as the other books in the series. I really enjoy reading it. Wouldn't put it as excellent and wasn't unforgettable for me. Though the last stories were kind of good. And then we have ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Everyone knows about this series. I feel like I see it constantly in people's reviews. Maybe it's going to be adapted into a series or something. People are stalking Sarah J. Maas to know if he's going to have a next book, what he's going to talk about, what is it going to be about, and I know he's going to have a next book. And just, I think it was one of the first books that I read that got me back into reading, like as a passion, after college. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. It really opened doors for me. And like a funny story is that I bought A Court of Thorns and Roses 3 years ago. I found it at a library. I had no idea what it talked about. I just read the synopsis, and I was kind of hooked. I wanted to read it, so I bought it. I just kept it on my library for years because I was in a sort of reading slump. I hadn't read on a while. I was in college. I had sort of things to read to finish my courses, and just after a while, I was like getting bored, just watching TV and series and movies, and I was missing that feeling of reading, of having that amazing world in my mind. And I thought, went back to my library and was okay, which book am I going to reread? And I actually saw A Court of Thorns and Roses there. I said, oh, that's right. I bought this book but haven't read it yet. And so I started reading it. And I was like, oh my god, what have I been missing for these past 3 years? Amazing. So it's about Feyre, a mortal huntress who is taken to the fairy lands as punishment for killing a wolf. She discovers love and danger in the magical world of Printian. And I thought, let's be honest with you, that A Court of Thorns and Roses was excellent. It got me back to reading, so that's excellent. I know a lot of people put it on very good, but I'm sorry. It got me back to reading. It got me back to my passion. It awakened something in my mind. So it's excellent for me. And the next book, where A Court of Mist and Furies, where Feyre adjusts to life in the Night Court and navigates a growing bond with Rhysand while preparing for an impending war, lives in my mind. That's short for to say like unforgettable. Unforgettable. Amazing. Absolutely unforgettable. Um and finally we have the third book in the trilogy. We can call it a trilogy, like these first three books that actually kind of go together, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin, where Feyre leads her friends and allies in an epic battle to save the human and fairy realms from annihilation. This book, unfortunately, was very good. It wasn't excellent. It wasn't unforgettable. It was very good. There were some unforgettable scenes in the book, um, but there were some scenes that could have been better. I think the average of it all gives a very good book, but doesn't get on the excellent side. But if I had to rate the series itself, the whole 5 books, I would say unforgettable. It's just here I'm rating every book independently, and that's why. Then we have A Court of Frost and Starlight, which is the novella that focused on Feyre and Rhysand as they rebuild after the war, offering a glimpse into their lives and future plans. I know a lot of people would put this book as could be better, but I will actually put this book as good because I enjoyed the ride. Yeah, I enjoyed the ride. I cannot put in could be better because I enjoyed it. Could it have been better? Of course, it could have been excellent. It could have been unforgettable. But it was good. And finally, we have A Court of Silver Flames, um, which is about Nesta, Feyre's sister, who embarks on a journey of healing and empowerment while confronting her traumatic past and a new romantic bond. New romantic bond, I wouldn't say that because I saw that coming. But the book was very good. I think, yeah, it was very good. It borders on excellent, but the problem is that the romance is, how can I say it? Fixated on only one thing. You know, I'm a romantic person. and I love all aspects of romance, if you get what I mean, especially the bedroom side. But you cannot have a romance with only the bedroom side. And the first times I was, oh, wait, great, nice. But as it kept going, I was like, oh my god, what kind of relationships do you have? How can I get hooked? I'm hooked, but like, develop. Feelings wise, develop, you know? And I guess it's on par with the characters, it's just I missed that to put it on excellent and maybe unforgettable, so it's going to go on very good. And to finish, we have the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros, and I'm going to tell you right away. Both of these books are unforgettable to me, and before you tell me, yeah, but Iron Flame, both of these books are unforgettable to me. I'm waiting for the third one impatiently, designing theories in my mind about what is going to happen after, so you can see the level of it. The level of it. Fourth Wing is about Violet Sorrengail, a young woman who is forced into a deadly Dragon Rider academy and who must navigate dangerous trials, fierce competitors, and her growing powers to survive. Oh, unforgettable. And then we have Iron Flame, which is the sequel, who is about Violet, who solidifies her place in the ranks of Dragon Riders. She then uncovers darker conspiracies within the academy, pushing her to question everything she thought she knew. Yeah, I know this series doesn't it isn't on the taste of everyone. Everyone doesn't rank it the same way. I love that kind of story, and I think the story was amazingly written. Iron Flame has its flaws. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say it doesn't, but the feeling is the same. It was unforgettable for me. Even with the flaws, like, I just bypassed that. And I think that's the most important thing in books. No book is perfect, but it's just how it makes you feel and how the maybe low points of the book and the little flaws of it are bypassed by your mind. And that's what happened in Iron Flame. If you ask me, what do I remember about it? I don't remember the fact that, oh, in chapter I don't know what, it could have been better. No, I remember that it was absolutely amazing. I want to know what happens next. Why did it happen like that? I'm theorizing. I'm trying to find things in the first book to understand the second book, and then go back to the first book to know things that in the second book explain the first book. So that's the feeling of unforgettable books. And yeah, I can see that we finished it all. I think it was more than 100 books in there. So good job, everyone. And thank you so much for listening to me and watching this tier ranking with me. This is Under the Spell of Books, and thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.